Hello, this is Bill Scheid from the Systems Lab. And recently in the community section of our website, Jürgen asked a great question about position sizing. And he wanted to know about equity models and which equity model I use when I'm trading the PRX crypto system. So before I answer that question, I want to say that everything I've learned about position sizing comes from Dr. Van Tharp and VTI. And I highly, highly recommend his book, The Definitive Guide to Position Sizing. That thing is just absolutely, it's like the Bible of position sizing, and it's a real gem. I keep a copy of that on my shelf and I pull it out all the time. VTI also has an outstanding workshop on position sizing. So I highly recommend, if you'd like to learn more about this topic after this video, please check out Dr. Tharp's book and the VTI workshop. So what is an equity model? So an equity model is basically the way that we determine the amount of equity in our account when we're using a position sizing algorithm. And the total equity method is determining the value of your account by using the sum of your cash plus the total value of all of your open positions. So for example, let's say you have 50,000 in cash and you have one open position with the value of $10,000, then your equity using this method would be 60,000. 50,000 in cash plus the $10,000 in the open position that you have. Now, the pros of using this equity method versus another, there are other equity methods, and again, you can learn about that from Van Tharp and VTI, it's very simple. And I personally prefer to keep things simple, so this is really easy. You open up your account, you look at what your balance is right now in this moment, and that's what you use for calculating your position sizing, whatever position sizing algorithm you're using. The other pro is that it helps keep your risk to a constant percentage of your total portfolio value. So if you're trying to maintain constant risk and a constant volatility, this way makes sense. Van says he learned this from Tom Basso, who I also really admire along with Van. And so I guess I should have put that as a pro too. If it's good enough for Tom Basso and it's good enough for Van, then it's good enough for me. Now there are some downsides. So one is that it doesn't take into account how much profit is protected or not by stops in your current open position. So you are using the open value of those positions when you're determining your total equity, and that could increase the volatility of your equity curve in terms of if there's a downturn and now those open positions decrease in value because they weren't protected by stops. Well, if you've entered a position using that open value, that position is going to be larger than if you just looked at how much was protected by stops. And in fact, there is another equity model called the reduced total equity method that does actually factor in how much of your profit is locked in with a stop. So there you go. That's a quick overview of the total equity method. Thanks for watching. Happy trading.